Hello. This is the work that we are starting now, and we are here, myself and Inês Flores Colin. We are from Instituto Superior Técnico at the University of Lisbon, and we are going to talk about climate change and extreme events on building heritage. So what we pretend from this presentation is to discuss the impact of climate change and extreme events on building heritage based on literature review and case studies. Here you can see some aspects of the buildings here at Lisbon. So we are going to talk about, first of all, climate change and climate extremes, Mediterranean climate, action of climate extremes examples, some discussion about the action and reaction, and then we are going to talk a little about our project, Efficacy. So when we talk about climate change and climate extremes, we have to quantify not only with the relation to the temperature, but also we have to consider that there are other changes that will and are being occurring, like hydrological cycle that is different now, climate extremes, that means extreme weather events and extreme climate events, and sea level. So here you can see the average temperature anomaly in the northern hemisphere, and as you can see, it's increasing a lot in the last years. So looking at here, we have the places in our world where we have Mediterranean climate, and they are dispersed. So we have regions like California or like in Australia, and we have here in Iberian Peninsula where we have Portugal and Spain. And as you can see, we have in the south hot summer Mediterranean climate, and in the north hot summer Mediterranean climate, and in the south warm summer Mediterranean climate. So when we talk about action of climate extremes, we have to consider that different constructions exemplify the adaptation of man to the natural environment, taking the weather and climate into consideration. We have to look at the location where the buildings are placed, and that is one of the keywords to define the potential impacts of climate change and climate extremes. Where the heritage is located is different. So if you think about storm surge, we have to consider if the buildings are in the coastline or other kinds of damage that can be occurring because of that location, or if it is in a valley, in a deep valley surrounded with mountains, we have another kinds of problems. So some examples are given, and the first one that occurred in the Madeira Island in 2010, February 2010, where we have a flash floods, and as you can see in the first picture, we have a lot of alluvions were carried out by the running water, and the Madeira Island is characterized by strong slopes and high mountains, and the water took a lot of velocity, carrying out a lot of debris. And here we can see a church, the name is Capela das Babosas, and as you can see here, what we have is that it was completely destroyed during this flash flood, and now is being reconstructed. Then we can have problems like the storm surge, where we have this case where you can see that because of that, the foundations of the fortress in Castela Velha can be damaged, and here located in the coastline. And then finally, this is a monastery at Coimbra. It's the Monastery Santa Clara Velha, where we can see the effect, and this was the second time that this occurred, and we have a river flooding, and that can be also a problem. Finally, we have another kind of climate extremes, in this case, heat waves. Yes, we know about the problems related with the thermal comfort for the people and health issues, but we have also considered when we talk about the facades of the building that the air pollution increased during that hot temperatures, and we can have things like um, the facades of buildings with the position of particles because of that.
About actions of climate extreme, Portugal has a variety of construction solutions in its heritage, and this is related with also the availability of materials, adaptation for different uses, and also the needs in our country. For example, in Lisbon, we had a big earthquake, and for that reason we changed the construction. So here is an example. As you can see in the figures below, we have an evolution in terms of constructive details, especially in terms on structural and non-structural walls, external walls, and also if we have, for example, the materials. The first, we have stone, brick, and then after 1940, we have the appearance of concrete. So we, in conclusion, for example, in Lisbon, we can have in our heritage buildings with different materials and different constructive solutions. Here you can see some examples about what I said. So the first picture is a rumble masonry on external walls on old buildings. This is an external structural wall in a building of Portugal Bank. In the middle, or in the center, you have you can see the ashlar walls with regular stone masonry. Usually we use this kind of regular stone for monuments, church, and also heritage. In this case is the Santa Maria do Boro, a monastery. And also, and finally, we have also in old buildings, masonry made with stone and solid ceramic brick with the timber truss. So this kind of solution, it was built in Pombaline buildings after the earthquake in 1755, exactly to increase the strength for seismic loads. So this is also an important and a characteristic of our buildings in the center city of Lisbon. About what Paula said, so Paula talked about the action, the climate change, the climate action in terms of all types, and also we have the reaction. So the impact on building heritage will be related with the location of the constructions, the solutions that we have in that buildings, and also the degradation state and further. So this is our first step for further research, especially related with the project, a research project that we called Efficacy Project. Today is 2 of September, so it started yesterday officially, So this project has the partner is NTNU with Chiara. So we are very grateful to start collaborate with the university. This project is a bilateral cooperation, so has the EI grants funding, and intends to develop guidelines to systemize relevant criteria, in this case for thermal insulation solutions, not only for new construction, but also for buildings retrofitting. So we will try to create that guidelines and the database, discuss the available database and try to make that guidelines, taking into considering different criteria, the technical requirements, environmental issues, and also the economical circularity and social economical aspects. So all these will be focused mainly in passive solutions, in especially the solutions that we apply on the walls, external walls, to have a better performance. So thank you for this brief presentation. We are looking forward for your suggestions and questions. Thank you.